So, you're ready to start building a life that thrives in every way. Mindset, exercise, nutrition, sleep, relationships, passion and purpose, finances, everything. Where do you start on week 1? Well, hold on, because before week 1, you've got week 0. And there are 4 things that you must do in week 0 before you actually start doing the work. 4 things you must do, 2 extra credit, and stay to the end, and I'll tell you one thing you absolutely must avoid, even though you're going to be sorely tempted to do it. Don't. Hi, I'm Kevin Mepham, and this is Thrivespan, building a life that thrives in every way, now and as you age. Okay, so week 0, thing 1, capture your before. See, you are about to embark on transforming your life towards a miraculous after. To the point where, and it's hard to believe this right now, it was impossible for me to believe it at the time that I started on my journey. People who get to know you later, and even people who've known you for a long time, once you have done this transformation, they will never believe that you ever were the way you are right now. And that is why you must capture your before, so that when they say, oh, I could never be like you, or I could never be like that, you can show them that you weren't always like that. It's incredibly inspirational. So what does that consist of? It consists of, I know, this stuff's, you are not going to enjoy this, I'm sorry. Weigh yourself. First thing in the morning, get your starting weight for this journey. Measure your waist circumference, that's at the narrowest part, your hips at the widest part. Take shirtless selfies from the front, from the side. You know, the ones that you see the Instagram guys do, or the fitness coaches, where they're showing how their clients have gone through that miraculous transformation. Those selfies. You don't need to show any of this to anybody now, okay? But if you don't do this and you put in the work, you're going to wish you had. I wish I had. The advice on the week 0 advice that I'm giving you now did not exist back in 2008 when I had my midlife mortality crisis and started down this path. All I had was a vacation photo of my flabby, pot-bellied, slouchy self that was taken a couple of days before the crisis hit, and my starting weight. As I say to my kids all the time, particularly with regard to getting your regular dental checkups in your 20s, this is your chance to be smarter than me. So, capture your before. Number 2, very simple, get yourself a journal. You're going to need it starting next week with the next video. This is, and we'll explain exactly why then, but this journaling for growth is one of the biggest accelerators that you're going to have in your process. So go ahead and get it now. It can be a paper journal, which is what I use. It can be an electronic app like Day One, whichever works for you. If you're not sure, neither one of these things costs a lot. Try them both, see which one works. But you need a journal, it's essential. Number 3, this was a little bit bigger ask than the first 2, but very important before you start out. Schedule a physical with labs. Why? Because this is another part of your before. This is your before physical metrics. This is your labs, this is your cholesterol, this is where you are from a metabolic syndrome standpoint. You are going to talk to your doctor once you get this done and get advice on what it is that you're safe to be able to start with physically, and whether the labs that you're going to get, the blood draws that you're going to get, are going to indicate maybe some areas that you need to focus on first. Maybe diet is going to be something that you need to prioritize. Maybe it's going to be exercise. Maybe it's going to be sleep. But that is the second thing that you're going to want to do it for. And then any limitations to exercise. Now, what does this physical consist of? We'll go into more detail on this in a future talk. But you're going to want to get fasted blood tests done. Fasted means that you have not eaten for 12 hours beforehand. That's going to include what they call a lipid panel, where they measure your cholesterol and so forth. And there will be other things that will be important to do in that blood test that we'll talk about later. That will allow you then to get that done before, well enough in advance that your doctor has it in their hands when you sit down for your physical with them. Okay? Now, ask the doctor what to work on, what the red flags are, let them know what it is that you are embarking on so that they can keep that in mind and do whatever they can to support you. Now, if you've had your physical in the past 12 months, well, let's just say 11. If you've had a physical in the last 11 months and you still can put your hands on the results, okay, congrats. You're already exhibiting the kind of self-care behaviors that are really going to serve you well in your Thrivespan journey. If not, get it going now. Again, make sure the labs are scheduled far enough in advance. Now, I know sometimes it's difficult to get these things scheduled anytime soon. Some of you may have to wait months to get an appointment. Okay, if it's months out, you're going to go ahead and get started with the rest of the stuff anyway, but as far as the exercise is concerned, you're going to proceed with caution if you have any known prior conditions. Okay. That's number 3, the physical. Number 4, get a fitness tracker. A couple of the major things that we're going to be concerned with here, of course, are exercise and sleep. So you want to get a fitness tracker that is going to be able to effectively measure both of those for you so that it will keep you honest. You will be able to start seeing the difference between getting enough sleep and not when you're able to measure it quantitatively instead of just your perception of it. You'll be able to, as I've learned, see the effects of alcohol on sleep, of late sleep on certain stages of sleep, of cannabis on sleep. None of those are actually good things, but you might not know it unless you have the way to measure it. So measuring these things is important. A good fitness tracker will do that. Look for one that will track your step count, one that will be able to track your heart rate while you're exercising and how far you go. For sleep, you want to get one that gives you a fairly accurate measure of the 3 main stages of sleep: your light sleep, your deep sleep, and your REM sleep, and your wakeful periods. You may be awake more than you realize. You may be getting less sleep than you realize. I know I did. It's important that this sleep tracker be something that is comfortable enough and has a long enough battery life that you can wear it throughout the day. So you can always have it on when you're going to sleep. You can always have it on when you're walking around and getting your steps counted. You'd want to be able to wear it continuously. Now, you can splurge on a GPS sports watch, like the old Garmin here that I've got. A lot of people swear by the Whoop strap. It's a wrist strap that does a lot of highly accurate sensing and then feeds the result to your phone. Very comfortable to wear. Or if you aren't sure you want to make that big of an investment yet, you can get a Fitbit Inspire 3 that does a perfectly serviceable job of everything that I just rattled off for under $100 right now. So you will need this. Go ahead and get it on order. So those are the 4 things. Capture your before, buy your journal, schedule your physical, get your fitness tracker. Now, 2 extra credits. And these are extra credits, meaning that you have to do the first 4. And these are bonus. They are optional. The first one is get a DEXA scan. DEXA scan is the most accurate way of measuring your body fat, your visceral fat, your muscle mass, your bone density, all of which are very important things to measure. It will give you a much better picture of your before. It will let you know if you're at risk of low bone density, which means that is something that you're definitely going to want to take action on. Visceral, if you have high visceral fat levels, this is fat inside the belly, wrapped around the organs, very bad. You will then want to work with your doctor to address that. So it's important to do that. Another reason that it's important, that's very useful to get a DEXA scan, and they, depending on where you are, it could be under $100. It's very quick, non-invasive, is to, well, as you go through the nutrition, improving your nutrition, improving your exercise, adding some strength training, chances are you will lose fat and gain muscle. And one of the things is muscle weighs more than fat. So you could end up not losing weight. In fact, the funny thing, that picture that you saw of me before I had my mortality crisis and started down this path, I dropped 35 pounds from that to when I was a lean triathlete. Now that I've actually prioritized strength training as much as I prioritize cardio, I am back to that same weight. But I look, I like to think, very different. My body comp is different. That is the value of a DEXA scan, because it will tell you, even if your weight is the same, how your body composition is changing, how you are gaining muscle and losing fat in the process. So it can be encouraging when, when it doesn't seem like you're making the progress. The scale can lie. Two people can have the same body mass index and be dramatically different in terms of the body composition. All right. Bonus number 2, extra credit. Read a book. Not just any book, but Outlive the Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia. This book is the modern Bible for living better longer. It is thoroughly readable, which is a miracle considering it is also thoroughly researched and footnoted, and very, very practical. It tells you what will kill you, the 4 horsemen: cancer, heart disease and stroke, neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's, and metabolic syndrome leading up to type 2 diabetes. And it will tell you what you can do to reduce your risk of those, namely exercise, nutrition, sleep, and managing your emotional health. It is a cornerstone of what I have done to improve my life and what I teach. So if you are the sort of student that reads ahead in the course curriculum, then this is a good book to read. The only, and you're going to have to read it at some point. The only reason that I don't recommend it as a week 0 exercise is I don't want you to put off taking action while this book sits on your shelf for 6 months. So you don't have to read it now. You can, if you're going to read it in parallel with taking the actions, because it will really give you the framework. It will let you know what risks we're all under as we age and what we can do about them. Okay? Now, if you stuck with me this long, I said I was going to tell you one thing not to do, and that it was going to be a hard thing to not do. And that is, do not tell everyone what you're going to do. No, it's too hard. It's hard. You want to, but it's too soon. You haven't actually done anything yet. And if you tell them when you haven't done anything, 1 or 2 bad things will happen. The first one is you're going to get a lot of pushback from people that know you how you are right now and how you've always been and cannot believe that you could possibly ever be anything else. I should know because that was me. And I told my family that I was going to be an athlete, and they told me that I didn't even deserve my athlete's foot, and I told them I was going to be a competitive triathlete, and that I was going to do an Ironman, and they said, no, you can't do that. That's for real athletes. Hi, family. Look at me now. So you will get pushback from people that can't believe you could change, or who have a vested interest, whether they are conscious of it or not, in you not changing. So the other bad thing that can happen is the opposite, which is people who will praise you for your goal. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Well, there's some interesting science around this that finds that the gratification that you get from being praised for talking about doing the thing is the same gratification that you get from actually doing the thing. So if you've gotten the gratification from talking about it, you might not have enough motivation left to actually go and do it. So don't talk about it yet. You haven't done anything worth talking about yet. Keep it to yourself. Let them see your actions. Let them see your results. Okay, so let's summarize. 4 things to do in week 0. I know it might take a little longer than that, but the 4 things: capture your before. This is a 5-minute exercise if you got a scale and tape measure. Buy a journal, paper or an app. Schedule your physical for as soon as possible, including your labs, and order yourself a fitness tracker. Okay? Extra credit, get that before DEXA scan scheduled, and buy Outlive and start reading it while you're actually going through and taking these actions. And do not tell people what you're intending to go off and transform yourself to be. Okay? All right. Always like to end this thing with a call to action, because action is what this is all about. And we'll talk about that more in the next video. So pick 1 or 2 or 3 or all 4 of these. Which ones are you going to do this in the course of this next week? Put that down in the comment, and then come back for next week's video. And now in the comment, put what you've done. And if you were not able to do what you set out to do, then at the very least, be able to say why not, and what you're going to do to take down that obstacle. Thanks for hanging with me. Really looking forward to seeing what happens to you on your journey. I'm really excited for you. I know what you're in for. It's going to be a challenge, and it is going to create a thriving life for you. Talk to you next week.